Hey, I'm Ellen. I'm Director of Programming here at Progressive Performance, and in this video we will be going over horizontal pressing. So not a lot of people can bench or even dumbbell press when they first come, so we start off with an incline push-up. So Jo here is going to step to the bar, put her hands in. Whoever you're coaching will kind of pivot on their toes, so if you see that their feet are flat and that's keeping them away from the bar, have them just kind of pop up on their toes here. And then when Jo goes down, she's going to go to mid-chest. That way her shoulders are in a good position, and she's going to pinch her back together as she goes down. If you're seeing the client kind of go up to the collarbones, the elbows are probably flaring a little too wide, and you're going to want to have them step a little bit closer or just tell them to touch lower on the chest. Things to look out for here is if it's too challenging, you'll see their hips kind of pop up a little bit. So they'll start here and they'll go down and back and lead with the hips. So have them tuck their hips under and put in more neutral position. If they overcompensate that though, they're going to push their low back down. That could be one of two things. Could be they just have a weak core, or they're overcorrecting that first initial posture when their hips are sticking back. So neutral posture, mid-chest, and then we are going to try and get as low as we can, get push-ups on the floor before we're really loading up a barbell. So once we have some mastery with the push-up, we'll move on to dumbbell pressing. So Jo here is going to roll back and get those dumbbells nice and stable over her shoulder. I really want the dumbbell right over the shoulder. If it's a little too far down or too far up, it's going to be fatiguing and not quite in the right start position. So from here, she's going to pull it down to her, a little bit of angle in those shoulders or in the elbows there. It's very similar to when we were looking at the push-up and wanting the touchdown to be mid-chest. It's just better for our shoulder health. From here, we're going to slowly load the dumbbells up. No need to make big jumps. It is a little more challenging, especially for women, to do bigger jumps. So do little smaller increments, and then once you get around the 20s or 25s, and whoever you're coaching wants to try a barbell bench press, feel free to get them started on that. If your client has graduated from dumbbells, that means they can do a set of 10 or so with 20 pounds in each hand. The bar is 45, so we want to make sure they can really handle those dumbbells before they are attempting to use the barbell. I'm going to have Jo lay back here. Most people will kind of slide up under the bar pretty far when they first try bench, so make sure they're scooting a little bit under just so their eyes are in line with the bar or the bridge of their nose. And the main cue I like people to focus on for the first bench session is pulling the shoulder blades down and back, kind of like the position we were working on with the horizontal row. That's really going to make it so you're in the most efficient position and safe position for the shoulders. So I'm going to have Jo unrack here. As she gets it balanced over her shoulders, she's going to pull those shoulder blades down, and the back is going to arch a little bit, and that's completely fine. We don't need to keep the back flat on the bench because we're loading the shoulders and not the spine. So I'm going to have Jo just go down and up. That's all I'm going to cue, and then as a coach, you're just going to look for where the bar is touching down. Typically, if the shoulder blades are kept down, it's going to go in the right spot anyway. If they are struggling to keep the shoulders down, it's going to rise up the chest a little bit. So if they need, so see how that kind of went more towards the top of her shirt here. So here I would say touch down on the words in the middle of your shirt if they need a physical cue. That's going to be dependent on the person. Some people you won't even need to cue that because they just understand that shoulder positioning. If they struggle to keep it, just tell them to reset it in between reps. And then as for feet on the bench, feet on the floor, I don't really have a preference unless they are competing in powerlifting. So if they decide to have the feet on the floor, just go ahead and tell them to plant them down. Usually when they start to struggle with the set, someone might flail a leg here and there, and you're losing tension if you're picking your feet up like that. So either feet up or feet down, but no in between in the middle of the set. And just continue to load from there. If there's shoulder pain, continue to address the shoulders down and maybe even regress back to dumbbells. Those are always a good supplement to barbell work because a barbell is in such a set position. That is our horizontal press progression from push-up, dumbbells, and barbell. Don't feel like everyone needs to get to the barbell. Anyone can excel just as much with dumbbells and will keep shoulders happier. So unless they are just really wanting to use barbell or competing, then they can just stick to dumbbells. So keep focusing on the shoulder positioning and the bar placement, as well as kind of the angle of elbows when we're looking at the dumbbell press when you are coaching a pressing movement. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask other coaches on the floor.